Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Sean O'Malley is not happy after he was recently kicked out of a restaurant for not being in line with the dress code. Following the incident, O'Malley took to social media to blast the restaurant. Here's the clip.
With your outfit?
Yeah, I guess I could. I went to Ocean 44 right across the street. I walk in looking good as like I usually do. And they go, sir, we can't serve you. We have a dress code. I said, who the f I am? No, I didn't say that. So we came across the street to Toco Madera, and they're hooking us up with free food because they know who I am. So, Ocean 44, I hope you replace Burns tonight.
Islam Makhachev opens up about Khabib's retirement from MMA. In a recent interview, Islam confirms that Khabib will not be in his corner when he takes on Volkanovski next month. Islam said, "When the cage door closes, no one is going to be there for you. Of course, it's going to be different, but I've already fought without him a couple times, and he cannot always be with me. Of course, it's very good when he is there. I always like when he's there with me because he knows all the games being played. He knows what you need for the fight, for the weight cut. You don't have to worry about any of this. It's always good when you have someone as experienced as him. You don't have to spend your energy thinking about other things. But I understand that he has to spend more time with his family, because with all the fighting, the training, his family misses him too. Even though he is retired, he's still traveling a lot. That's why I understand." Alexander Volkanovski responded to this interview saying, "They better not use it as an excuse once all this is done. At the end of the day, Makhachev will prepare and we're going to fight. He doesn't need someone to hold his hand, doesn't need someone to be in there with him. That's not a real fighter. So when my hand gets raised, that better not come up." Chael Sonnen recently called the proposed boxing match between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou the dumbest idea in combat sports history.
To watch Tyson Fury beg was surprising. It was surprising. I don't want to call it disappointing. I'm real close to calling it that, but I don't want to call it that. So Tyson comes to us with perhaps the dumbest idea in sports history. Perhaps. He knows it is. But if somebody's willing to write a check, he will, in fact, go through with it. Now, if somebody's not willing to write the check, of which they obviously haven't, which is why he's pitching the idea, as opposed to having a promoter pitching it to him, he made it ridiculous enough that we can all stand back and laugh. And he go, I was just kidding. I was kidding about that. I'd have done that whole thing, but I mean, I had to, hey, if Tyson's not going to ref, I mean, the deal's off. Like, it was just ridiculous enough that nobody had to actually put their name on it. Nobody had to actually stand by it.
Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith discussed the potential fight all fans want to see between Colby Covington and Khamzat Chimaev.
But here's a fight I'd rather see. No disrespect to the great Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad. The one he asked for, Colby Covington.
Let's go.
That makes all the sense in the world. One, they got the viral moment of him calling him out, combined with the viral moment of Colby Covington calling Brazil a dump, and they're all filthy animals in Brazil with the crowd booing. They both want to fight for the belt. They both lost to Kamaru Usman, Colby twice. If they want to get another shot, they've got to fight a top contender. In terms of stylistic matchups, it's interesting. Is Colby going to take Gilbert down? Does he want to play that game? I don't know if he does. On the feet, Gilbert probably hits harder, but Colby has the pressure and the pace and the cardio. So it's an interesting clash of styles.
Very. I out of those three, two of them got to fight each other. To be honest with you, I don't care who fights who. I think that those three guys, if I was one of those three guys, I'd be just blowing up Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby's phone, because one of you guys are going to get left out, and you don't want to be the odd man out for sure. Or, to be very fair, one of you is going to end up with Khamzat.
Terrance McKinney took to social media to reflect on his loss this past weekend at UFC 283 in Brazil. McKinney tweeted, "Sorry you guys, I'll be back better next time. I love you guys." He followed up with, "100% everyone told me to slow down and pick my shots. I got in my own head and forgot what it is I do best. My own fault. I learned and I'll be back next fight." McKinney then got involved with some beef with Barstool Sports after one of the company's writers picked him to lose. McKinney hit back at the writer saying, "It's all good, Barstool isn't known for actually knowing sports." Following McKinney's loss, the website put out an article mocking McKinney's comments with the headline reading, "Terrance McKinney gets knocked out cold just hours after claiming Barstool didn't know sports." Barstool Sports also posted a picture of McKinney being knocked out, and Terrance hit back on Twitter claiming they still don't know anything about sports. You still don't, LOL. This is why I'll never rock with Barstool. Specifically, this is Robbie Barstool. Luke Rockhold has announced that he is coming out of retirement as a free agent. Recently, he was asked whether or not he'd consider a fight against Jake or Logan Paul, and this is what he said.
Is that the fight? Is that the motivation here, to fight Jake Paul, to be the guy to beat him, the MMA guy to beat him? Is that what you want? If we were to make a wish list right now, is a boxing match against Jake Paul number one?
I mean, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to correct that situation, him or his brother. Or both. They're into spectacles. They're YouTube kids, whatever. But they both want to legitimize themselves. But they're both fighting little guys. Jake fights a welterweight with no hands, and he barely gets through that. All right. Then he fights Tyron Woodley, a welterweight with one hand, and Tyron's my boy, but with all due respect, he doesn't pull the trigger anymore. And I'll pull the trigger and I'll hit my mark. And I'm a middleweight. I'm a real man at your weight, straight up. And Logan too, either way, doesn't matter. But there's so many other things that are going on. He says he wants to fight MMA, which, grow up. Now he's fighting Tommy Fury. Come on. Tommy Fury, he's about as much of a boxer as I'm a cricket player.
Dan Hooker is set to return in March and will face off against Jalen Turner. Here's what Hooker had to say in a recent interview.
We have some news to break. You're fighting.
Yeah. March, was it the 4th or the 5th in Las Vegas?
I think it's the 4th, is it not? It's the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it's the 4th.
Yeah, well, if we're gonna break news, can we get the date right?
It's March 4th.
Yeah, March 4th, Las Vegas, UFC 2, whatever that is, the John Jones card. I'm fighting Jalen Turner.
Nice. How did this fight?
Top 10, baby.
Top 10, we're back.
How did it come about?
Yeah, go on.
Wouldn't have a clue. Obviously, had a couple beers about a month ago. Twitter rampage proceeded to follow, as it does. Just fishing with dynamite, really.
Yeah, anyone.
I think I said that he turned the fight down, and he was like, "Hey man, I didn't turn that fight down." And I was like, "Well, let's have a fight then."
Jiri Prochazka speaks about when we can expect to see him return to face Jamal Hill. Here's the clip.
I think I can be back in July, August, something like that.
Okay.
7 months, something like that. But because I don't want to be just to be fastest way back to just to fight. I know this is not the best attitude. I want to be sure that my body works for 200%, and I think it can be in summer this year, and just let me work on that, and I will be back as soon as possible. And on the next Jamal Hill's fight, I don't know if he wants to wait for me till this summer. If he wants, it will be the best, because I'm sharpening my weapons for him. And if he wants to fight some in some near future, so doesn't matter for me.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.